Okay, I really should focus more so on people in, like, focus on getting Ferdinand, Caspar, Dorothea, Bernadetta, Linhart, and Petra. Focus on getting all their supports maxed out before I really focus on, like, the other people's houses. Because I can do that when I'm on their sides. But, like, with Flane, Sedith, Shamir, and all that people, I should probably do that as well.
What are you doing?
Oh, Flane. I've just been researching the exploits of Saint Sethlene.
And why is it you're doing that precisely?
Well, painting is a hobby of mine, and I thought I might like to capture her likeness.
Well, how lovely. But how is researching her exploits necessary for painting?
If I wanted to use a statue of Saint Sethlene for my reference, it wouldn't be necessary. But that's not what I want. I wish to paint Saint Sethlene herself, looking exactly as she did when she was alive. And if I don't know anything about who she was on the inside, the image won't be true to life. So I wanted to find some hints about who she was, and that's why I've been researching her deeds.
Ah, so you were hoping to find out what type of girl she was.
Girl? Interesting way of putting it, but yes, more or less.
I see. Yes, it is all quite clear to me now.
What's happening?
Okay then. Allow me to share with you what I know of Sethlene's deeds. Long ago, in a world ravaged by war, Sethlene led a secluded life with her father, Keyhole. One day, they met Saint Seros, who was grieved by the chaos and destruction of war. And so, the three decided to join forces.
Doesn't this sound very familiar to you? Sethlene led a secluded life with her father, Chikol. That sounds like Flane and Sedith right there. And they met Saint Seros, who is Rhea, so yep, there it is. That's the 3 of the 4 saints, or 5 saints, I guess, technically. Wow.
Huh?
That's interesting.
But I thought the saints gathered following a revelation from the goddess.
At the Battle of Teotine, they fought against the 10 elites led by Nemesis, who sought to conquer the whole world. Sethlene tended to her allies on the field of battle, until she exhausted all her strength. Then, she fell into a long slumber.
But according to legend, she used her miraculous powers to heal all of the wounded.
Interesting story, is it not? Have you perhaps learned something new about Sethlene?
Having heard all that, I'd say she seems incredible.
Incredible? Well, I haven't heard that before. I feel certain you and I will be fast friends. Let us talk again soon.
Huh. Who knew Flane was such an expert on Sethlene?
Because she is the queen. Or her mother is Sethlene. Interesting to boot that. I don't think we've seen all of these with Lysithea. We've seen Leone C. So that we can skip a skoo. But Marianne B, we have not seen.
Marianne, do you mind if I ask you about something?
Yes?
It's about animal behavior. Among us all, you surely know the most about animals. I've read that in outdoor battles, wild animals can sometimes cause unexpected confusion. What do you think would be the best strategy to... are you listening, Marianne?
Huh?
I was listening. I just don't think I can really... For crying out loud! Why do you always have to admit defeat before even giving yourself a chance?
My advice would probably just put everyone in danger. You'd be better off without me.
This is beyond ridiculous. You're impossible. You seem convinced you're some sort of cursed being, destined to bring doom and gloom to anyone you encounter.
Well...
Why do you have such a terrible opinion of yourself? How could you possibly be so dense?
I just...
Just nothing. Now you listen to me for a moment. I can see that you have some deep-seated turmoil you struggle with. I'll have you know I have quite a few issues of my own. Perhaps more grave than yours, if you can imagine.
Really?
Yes, but I'm not the only one who has such troubles to contend with. Everyone does. That's why it's so important to maintain a positive outlook and do what we can. Each time we find the light in the dark, we grow, bit by bit. And without growth, what's the point in carrying on?
Lysithea, I envy your confidence and strength.
Don't envy me. Instead, just choose to find the positive, won't you?
Yes. Well, maybe someday.
The time is now! This is your moment!
Do it!
Okay.
Just do it!
That's
Yesterday
more
you
like
said
it.
tomorrow, so
Now to
just
start,
do it!
why don't you help me out by answering my questions about wild animals?
I'll certainly try my best.
We haven't seen this one.
Professor Hanneman, is this a good spot for this book?
That will do nicely, Lysithea. I'm sorry to trouble you with these chores.
It's no trouble. After all, it's proper etiquette for the young to help the elderly.
The elderly? I'm only... Ugh, never mind. How have you been feeling of late? Anything worth mentioning?
I've been feeling well enough, all things considered.
You seem to be maturing remarkably. No doubt your well-being is due to the positive influence of your twin crests working in tandem.
Here he goes with the positive again. Looks like your research is more useless than I thought.
I may ignore your assaults on my age, but I will not allow unfettered attacks upon my research. What makes you think it's lacking? Surely you do not deny that your crest-related abilities exceed those of your peers. You are so far ahead of the others. Even the combined effects of the twin crests you bear do not fully account for that discrepancy.
You just can't see beyond the crest, can you? In all your research, haven't you considered that my abilities are a direct result of the effort I put in?
Of course, I am aware that you are a hardworking student, but...
My efforts far exceed those of any other student. I've placed top priority on growing as quickly as possible.
Is the ability to expend such incredible efforts, to be so focused and driven, is that not a form of talent?
It has nothing to do with talent. It's a question of sheer will. I'm determined to succeed, no matter the sacrifice.
I see, but what drives you to such lengths?
I have goals, just like anyone, and precious little time in which to achieve them.
Little time?
The people who made me as I am informed me that my life would be drastically shortened as a result. A person bearing two crests against the will of nature itself. Well, clearly it can't be sustainable. As such, I don't indulge in the luxury of fantasizing about the future. I haven't got one. Knowing all this now, will you still claim that my crests are something positive?
I cannot. Please understand. I had no idea.
I'll be leaving now.
Oh, fucking hell! I love Lysithea.
Lysithea. So that is why you are...
I feel so bad for Lysithea because she feels like she has no future, but she probably has a great future ahead of herself. There, have we seen? We have. Okay. Hilda, these are all the ones we have not seen.
Why do I have to organize the library?
You're not in the
In
library.
trouble if it's not done, and I can't think of anyone who'd do it for me. Since no one else is around, though, time for a little break. What are those sounds? Ha! Yeah! Leone, always at it.
How exhausting that must be. What's this?
Hey, what are you doing? That's mine.
If you leave it lying on the ground, people will think it's trash.
I usually wear it around my neck, but I put it down while I'm training so I don't get sweat all over it.
Well, people won't know that, will they? You should have just left it in your room.
It's a good luck charm. If I don't keep it close by, then what's the point?
How stubborn of you. I will say it looks to be a very well-loved charm.
Captain Gerald gave it to me when I was a kid.
If it's that important to you, you should wash it. Then again, I suppose it is made of wood. Have you considered coating it with resin? That would preserve it nicely. You could even accessorize it, make it look cute.
Thanks, but Captain Gerald made it especially for me. I'd really rather keep it just as it is.
Well, if that's how you feel, I won't argue with you. Me personally, I'd choose a cute necklace over a dirty old charm any day.
I'm sure you would.
I'm sure you would.
But Captain Gerald didn't treat me as some young girl. He treated me like a person who mattered, an equal. He taught me everything. I don't want to forget his teachings, so I'm going to keep this charm just the way it is.
Huh, what do you know?
I need to get Leonie to be at max with someone, because she was by herself last time. So who could I have her be maxed with? Not a lot of people.
Oh, it's Sedith. I'd better slip away before he...
Ah, I see you are indulging in a bit of reading. You are fond of books, I take it?
Yes, reading's one of my favorite pastimes. I was just finishing up, actually, so I think I'll...
That is most fortuitous.
Fortuitous? How do you figure?
Come with me. I have a story to share with you. Once upon a time, deep in the cold mountains, there lived a lazy fox and an industrious squirrel. The squirrel worked tirelessly all day long, while the fox did nothing but lounge around and play. When autumn came, the squirrel
Hilda's the
hurriedly
fox and
gathered
you're
up
the
acorns
squirrel.
for the winter. But the fox continued to play without a care. A biting winter fell upon the land. The mountains, caked in snow, concealed all nourishment from sight. The hungry fox went to the squirrel's dwelling, but the squirrel had locked up tight and gone to sleep. Every so often, the squirrel would wake, enjoy a nibble of an acorn, and then return to an easy slumber. The fox, on the other hand, with nowhere else to turn, was forced to scrounge for food in the bitter cold of the forest. Forlorn and hungry, he wandered in solitude all through the winter, until spring came once more. And so it is to this very day that foxes are denied the comforts of hibernation.
That's not true.
Ah,
Well,
I really learned something about foxes. I read lots of fairy tales like that when I was little. But the lazy fox and the industrious squirrel, huh? That one I don't think I've heard before.
That is not surprising, considering I wrote it.
Oh, you wrote it?
I did. When Flane was young, she loved fairy tales more than anything. I
aw.
would read them to her often. This one, however, is a more recent creation. I wrote it for the benefit of the children in the monastery. So, what do you think? I'm curious to hear what sort of impression it made on you.
It's so cute.
You found it to be cute?
I can just see it now. You writing fairy tales for your little sister. That's just the cutest thing. Honestly, to me, you usually come across as stern and overly perceptive. But now I know you have a sweet side, too. I feel like I'm seeing you in a whole new light.
That is not what I was hoping to hear.
Always set your expectations low when talking to Hilda. Well, no, that's not correct. Don't send him. Well, I don't know. Send to a certain
Cyril.
site.
Cleaning again, I see.
Hilda, you're in the way. Move it.
I'm supposed to refill the horses' water troughs, but I can't find the buckets. I was told that they'd be in the usual place. What's the usual place?
What's the usual
Maybe
place?
you'd know where that is if you did your job sometime.
You know, Cyril, I don't want to interrupt you while you're cleaning, but...
Come on, the buckets are over near the wall, where they always are, because I put them there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for your help.
Bye-bye.
You're pretty strong. I bet you're tired, though. Come on, let's rest a bit.
Okay, just for a minute though. I got more work to do.
Good rest. Good talk.
I'm not a fan of awkward silences. Anything interesting happened lately?
Figured you were the one with something to say. Quiet don't bother me.
I need an interesting topic for this letter I'm writing to my brother. I'm stumped.
Your brother write to you a lot?
Constantly. Yeah, he must be bored. He's always going on about how worried he is for me. What's worse, if I take too long to reply, he gets more worried and writes more about it.
Write about your life, maybe. You know, stuff like, I got real lazy again today. Or maybe, can you believe I still don't know where they put the water buckets?
You're mean. Do you really think that little of me?
Well, you
You're a
haven't
lazy
shown
gal
anything
who
otherwise.
gets people to do her work for her. I never knew anybody like that in Elmira.
Oh, really? So Lady Rhea isn't the only difference between Fodlan and Elmira after all?
I don't like comparing Lady Rhea with you, but I figure you're right. But you know what's real weird? Nobody seems to mind picking up your slack. Even me.
Sorry, what was that?
Nothing worth repeating. Anyway, I gotta get back to work.
He's such a diligent boy. I don't think I've ever seen someone from Fodlan work that hard. Oh, hang on. I never got an idea from him about what to write in my letter. Ugh. I guess there's nothing for it. Maybe I can just write about Cyril.
I mean, sure, write about something that boring. I'm kidding. Cyril is still kind of like the one that I'll probably take forever to really want to know, I guess.
Hello, Leone. I imagine you are here to fish?
Yeah, this is a great spot for it. You must be a pretty experienced fisherman, huh?
Actually, while I have enjoyed the hobby for a long while, I must admit I am less than proficient.
Now that you mention it, I can see you're not having much luck today.
It is likely because I am not using any bait.
Well, that explains it. But why bother fishing at all if you're not even trying to catch something?
Truthfully, I fish only so that I might relax. It is soothing to me to cast the line and watch the water ripple.
That's actually
Days
very
are
nice.
busy, even hectic. It helps to find peace and quiet every so often.
Oh, that makes sense. Still, if you're going to go to all the trouble, you may as well actually bait the line.
Maybe so. But, to my chagrin, I do not even know what type of bait to use. I learned to fish by accompanying my wife. She was always the one to bait the hooks. She would hand me the rod and I would cast my line. I never paid attention to how the rest was done.
Ah. And your wife, where is she now?
Dead.
She passed away quite some time ago. Since then, I have only to fish on my own. Even so, I find peace out here. Bait or no bait. What about you? Why do you fish?
Me? Just for the fish, actually. For me, it's purely practical. Catch a bite now, one less meal to worry about later. Hunting, fishing, whatever it takes to get by. That's how I've always done it. I'm not exactly starving right now, but back then, if I couldn't catch something, I'd go hungry. So getting the hang of it was pretty vital.
I would certainly say so. I imagine it is intensely satisfying to catch a fish when the need is so great.
Probably, yeah. The need makes it more purposeful. But hey, if you ever want to try fishing for real, I'd be happy to share my bait with you. And if you catch something, I'll cook it up nicely for you. How's that for motivation?
Oh, are you a skilled chef also?
can't promise it'll be fancy, but it'll taste good.
Impressive. Wouldn't you know it, I am suddenly overcome with the urge to excel.
Great! Let's get started.
That was nice. That was a nice one. Well, I know for sure this is a new one. I don't know about the other two. Hold on.
Catherine's working hard. I guess even the strongest fighters can't neglect their training.
Mm-hmm.
At it again? Or is she still at it?
Oh, a spectator. If you want to ogle, you ought to be a little less conspicuous.
Sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just passing by. I couldn't help but wonder, though. Have you been training all this time?
Yes, I'm simulating prolonged combat. Fighting for a long time requires a whole different set of skills. If you can't handle it in training, you'll certainly be doomed against the real thing.
I can't even imagine having what it takes to keep that up for so long.
You've been in your share of battles. I'm sure you have some sense of what it takes. A brutal, protracted clash in open marshland, neither side retreating. In that situation, what will you do? Your survival depends on decisions you make in the moment.
I see why you're so successful.
Most importantly, don't give up. Don't start thinking about how you might lose or might die. Focus on surviving, on winning.
You're right. I've been narrow-minded. I had decided, since I don't have a crest and can't use relics, that I'm powerless against someone like you. But that's wrong. I'm not helpless. Not as long as I'm breathing and on my feet. So, the first thing I'm going to do is learn how to beat you. When you're unarmed, at least.
That's the spirit, Leonie. Though I'm not planning on losing either, you know.
Good. I hope you're ready, because I'm going to train even harder than you.
You remind me of myself when I was young. I would become so angry at my own weakness. I feel strangely nostalgic seeing that same anger.
She walked away.
Huh? Where'd that girl go?
We start tomorrow.
Alright, I have seen Eloise's C, and I have seen all of Shamir with Leonie, so that's good. Oh, wait a minute.
I heard what you did.
Oh, it was a B. There, she had an A. I thought she only had a B to her. Well, Seth, I know for sure will be all. This one I'm super excited to see, so let's watch this one. Who?
Flame.
Here to pester me, brother?
No, I think I'm the one who ought to be pestered.
Regardless of what I say to you, it is not as though it has any effect in reducing your worry over me.
That is true. No matter where you are, and no matter what you're doing, I will always worry. But that's only because I treasure you so very much. Please understand, I'm not trying to hurt you.
Of that I am well aware. I am touched that you care so deeply. When I think of it, it is my own fault that you have become so overprotective. I cannot blame you.
No, the fault is entirely mine. You were still so young. I placed far too much strain on you, and our lack of resources was no excuse. Worse, I failed to watch you during the battle. Your mother, too. We lost her because of me. Afterward, it broke my heart to see how much you would need to rest just to survive. I swore that I would dedicate every moment remaining in my life to your protection.
Ever since then, I have been afraid of falling asleep. My fear of sleeping is outmatched only by my fear of spending my life alone. Even if it cannot last, I want to live among my peers as one of them, as an ordinary person. Similar to how you and Mother coexisted with your own comrades back then, fighting side by side.
Quite right. I know you must leave the nest someday. No matter how many ages our lives may span, I know that's the way of it.
Father...
Don't.
Nobody is listening, Father. Let me address you as such just this once.
Yay.
I have valued the quiet
For whatever
days
weird,
you and I have
whatever
spent
weird
alone
reason, you
together.
didn't do the
But I am
paralogue
no
of these
longer
two.
a child. Just as you and Mother met one another, and eventually I was brought into the world,
I know. Please, no more. No matter what happens, you are my daughter. It gives me great joy to see you grow. But please, at least until this war is over, let me continue to worry. You're the most precious person in my life. I can't bear the thought of losing you.
It seems I have no choice in the matter. I shall allow you to worry about me enough for yourself and Mother both. But only that much and no more, my dear Father Keyhole.
Thank you, Sethleen.
Oh my god, I was right. I was fucking right. That's Chico and Sethleen, and then frickin' Reyes. Whatever, so yay, whatever.
Good day to you, Seteth.
Persistent, aren't you? If this is about my crest...
No. I thought we might speak of something else for a change.
Is that so?
Indeed. I am quite fond of conversation, even just for the sake of conversation. Just listen to an old man's worries, eh?
Very well. Go ahead.
Perhaps it's due to my age, but I've been troubled by lower back pain lately. Right now, I'm in the process of finding a good way to treat it.
Ah. If it is an ointment you're after, I think Manuela would know more than me.
Doesn't it make you nervous to rely on Manuela? I do not mind asking her about the pain itself, but...
What are you trying to say?
Oh, nothing. I'm only lamenting the fact that I am getting old. It is a pastime I'm not sure I enjoy. Yet I can't help but notice time hasn't taken such a toll on you.
Well, the signs of age may not write themselves plainly on my face, but I feel the strain of years as much as you.
Is that right? But then, that doesn't explain your sister. Your sister, Flame, was born around the time I came to the monastery from the Empire, yes? In all that time, I never knew you to pay her a visit or to write her letters. Yet somehow, the two of you seem very close, like a family who has spent years together. Could this not suggest a different interpretation? Perhaps, like you, she has...
You will not pry into Flame's business. If you interrogate her, no. If you even so much as inquire where she has been or what she has done, I will never forgive you. Never. Investigate me all you wish. I will even cooperate if I must. But Flame...
Calm down, Seteth. I have no intentions of approaching Flame.
Do I have your word on that?
You have my word as a scholar and as a man. I do apologize for using your sister's name in that way.
Using her? What do you... Oh, that is low.
You promised me just now. Investigate me all you wish, you said. I will even cooperate, you said. Do you deny it? Those words were all I needed to hear. Now I have no cause to approach your sister.
It seems I have no choice. To think I have been played the fool by a man of your age.
I'll let that slight go, now that I have your cooperation.
Even with my cooperation, there is no guarantee you will reach the truth.
Oh, Seteth. Searching for the truth is what I do. And I will find it. I promise you that.
Then I suppose I will have to look forward to the day you prove your claims.
Nice. Oh, these supports are going on long. I might end up splitting these into 2 parts.
Hey, Seteth. I've been meaning to ask you, what is your relationship with Lady Rhea?
That is certainly an abrupt question.
You're much closer to her than anyone else in the entire church. Certainly you're a good, upstanding person, but I can't help but feel there's something more to it.
Supporting the Archbishop is my sole professional interest. Personally, I consider her to be something akin to a companion.
A companion?
Yes, as in a traveling companion. Friends who walk the same path toward the same destination.
Companion, huh? A companion. I guess that does sound about right, now that you say it. Though, I'll confess to being quite jealous. Not many people can call themselves companions of Lady Rhea.
I do not know how she feels about it.
Oh, come on. You must trust that she feels the same about you.
There is no need for that sort of trust. My duties are the same regardless of her perspective. I consider you to be a companion also.
A companion in fighting for the Archbishop.
Certainly. Our goals are firmly aligned when it comes to that, are they not?
You're right, they are. I suppose you and I could be considered companions in that sense.
I am pleased to hear my sentiment reciprocated. I rely on you a great deal, after all. More than most.
Whoa there, what's all this now? Flattery won't win you any prizes with me, Sedith.
I do not flatter. I merely want you to understand why it matters to me that you be more cautious in battle. As your companion, it is my wish for you to be safe.
Oh, good, we're back in familiar territory. With you admonishing me. Don't worry, I'll be careful. I'll always try to live up to your expectations. So don't expect too much or you'll wear me out.
These supports are
Hello,
very
Siri.
interesting for sure.
On a break?
Just figuring out what needs doing next. Why? You need something done?
Nothing like that. I was hoping to speak with you.
You want to talk?
Yes. You told me that you are happy so long as you can continue to work for the Archbishop. Have you considered that there might be other ways to find happiness?
Nope. Repaying my debt to Lady Rhea is all I want to do. Lady Rhea might not be around right now, but all the stuff I do, it's still for her.
What will you do once your debt is repaid?
I can never repay her.
You are possessed of a rare and admirable devotion. I too owe the Archbishop a debt, but repaying her is only one of the reasons I am here.
What you mean, one of the reasons you're here?
I mean that I have other motivations aside from that. If those motivations required me to be elsewhere, then I would be elsewhere.
Motivations?
Yes. I am fortunate enough to share common cause with the Archbishop. Thus, I am able to remain. Don't be mistaken. It is admirable to repay one's debts, but that alone should not define a person.
No, it should
While
not.
it is good to make peace with the past, it is also essential to look ahead to the future. What kind of future do you see for yourself? What can you do to work toward it? I would like you to think about what might make your future brighter.
I don't know if I understand you right. See, when Lady Rhea took me in, it was the first time I ever thought maybe I had a purpose. And I don't know what else I could wish for than that, you know?
I do not mean to trouble you. It's just that I cannot help but notice the way you squander your potential. It's as though you avert your gaze from it on purpose. Keep what I've said in the back of your mind, at least. You have plenty of time.
Okay, Sedith.
You have plenty of time. Lovely.
Manuela, do you recall what you told me? You
Manuela.
mentioned that if a place shines brighter than anywhere else, then its shadows will be darker too.
You sound so worried. That was nothing, dear. Call it a joke.
It most certainly did not sound like a joke. Can you please elaborate? Of course, I love hearing about your glamorous past performing on stage. But all that glamour doesn't account for the shadows you spoke of.
Well, I suppose I could share a little. Here's the thing about the opera. Talent isn't enough to earn you a position in a glamorous show. You need money, connections, and, failing those, the stomach to commit a spot of violence. I spent many nights buttering up nobles in power. No matter how humiliating the task, I'd do it because I wanted to be a star. I
Oh.
hope that kind of talk isn't too shocking for a sweet girl like yourself. Are you disillusioned with me now that you know my sordid past?
Not at all. Understanding you more deeply, I can see how much strength has been required of you all this time.
Flayn.
Oh, excuse me.
I am well aware that survival and striving for dreams sometimes means doing things we would not normally do. Perhaps because you have been so strong, lived with such conviction. Perhaps that is why your songs have touched so many people's hearts.
Oh, you sound very wise all of a sudden. Thank you, Flayn.
I would like to rescind my original request of you.
Your request to hear one of my songs?
Indeed. Instead, I have a different request. I would like to see you perform an opera on stage.
I don't know about that. It's been a long time since I stood on stage.
I imagine you have experienced much since you left the opera company. It follows then that you have developed new insights, charm, and wisdom to share.
Yes, I probably could play a tragic role even better now than I could back then. But it's hardly the time for operas. We need to put an end to this war first.
Agreed. Let us make the curtain fall on this war as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Maybe then we can raise the curtain
Let's do
on
it.
a brand new performance. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
That is exactly what I yearn for.
Aw, Flayn's so fucking adorable. What's... Okay, so Ferdinand, Felix, Raphael, and Ignatz. Those are the only ones that are left for her. Sedith, you have quite a bit with Bernadetta, Ingrid, Hilda, and Leonie. And okay. He's not as terribly far away, but it's still... Not terribly, but it's still... manually away. I know for sure we did not see Hanuman. Okay, we have not seen any of these with Hanuman, so there we are.
You keep
I'm
doing
honestly
things
surprised
that
we
aren't
haven't
called
seen
for.
this one.
It's
I thought
driving
we
me batty.
did.
You presuppose I am only thinking of you.
Oh, let's just not do this, shall we? I don't know why we always end up fighting.
It can hardly be helped. You and I seem opposed to one another on a, let's call it an instinctual level. Perhaps this could even be considered a form of fate.
What an awkward fate to have. I'd like you a lot more if I just hated you. All this fighting and making up is just exhausting.
Agreed, yes. It does feel as if we have
we not
fallen
seen this
into a
before?
rather
I thought we've seen this
tiresome
before, but
bit
then why
of
didn't it
repetition.
save?
What a waste of effort. We're absolutely hopeless, the both of us. Here's a thought. Couples who are similar to one another, share the same views and all that.
No, this one's
they're
definitely different. I
pretty
don't remember this.
successful. But complete opposites work together too. Surprisingly well sometimes. They compensate for each other's weaknesses, and they support one another. Then I look at how hard we work just to avoid screaming at each other, and I don't buy it.
Don't be so hasty to dismiss your own hypothesis. For instance, I am apt at cleaning, but have no talent for cookery, whilst you loathe cleaning, but are a splendid chef. Would it not be an easier life if, rather than struggle through our weaker areas, we divided the work?
Huh. I suppose our differences do have their advantages that way.
I guess
Indeed.
they do.
If we combine our abilities, housework would be conquered and dinner rendered delicious. There are other ways we could find to support one another, I would imagine. We might make a better pair than you think. You and
Just fuck
together.
already.
You might be onto something. You and I could be pretty good together. Wait, why are we talking about this? Are you trying to propose marriage with promises of clean floors? You think I'm that easy of a catch? Honestly.
I did no such thing. You were the one who started discussion on the topic in the
Just
first place.
fuck already.
So
Agreeing
this
with
is
me.
my fault
If you
now?
have
I
objections,
never said a
then let's...
word.
I so feel like we've seen that one before, but I guess we haven't. Which is so weird.
Professor Hanneman, what do you think of my progress so far?
To be blunt, you are still struggling more than I would expect.
Ah, I see. I suppose I need to give it a little more of that Alois oomph.
How does someone remain so upbeat when they are accomplishing, well, absolutely nothing?
Come again? I didn't quite catch that.
Just jabbering to myself. Pay me no mind.
All right. I've been wondering, why did you agree to train me in the first place? When I told everyone you were teaching me, they could hardly believe it.
Well, if I'm completely honest, you're less of a student and more of an experiment. You have no crest, but you might be able to learn magic, despite our early results. And the potential magical ability of those who lack a crest is precisely what I hope to research.
That's a surprise. A crest scholar researching people without crests?
When studying crests, it is also important to understand the effects of their absence. After all, the very reason for all of my research is to grant the power of a crest to anyone who desires it. If it is in fact possible to increase the magical potential of people lacking a crest, then I find myself one step closer to my goal. Hence, my experiments with you are quite valuable to my research.
Oh, that's wonderful! What a great man you are, Professor Hanneman. Truly a man among men. Why, if I could prove it's possible to use magic without a crest, what an honor that would be. Oh, please, use me as you see fit. I won't let you down, I promise.
Could you express your enthusiasm more quietly? And if at any point you wish to discontinue...
Oh no, I'm ready to go. Let's make a breakthrough. Come on, Hanneman. You should be shouting too. A bright future awaits.
No. Shouts and screams are
No.
detrimental to scholarly research and to my ears.
Oh, I meant to tell you, I have some friends who struggle with magic as well. I'll ask them to help. Perhaps if we all chip in, we can make your dream a reality. Onward!
Alois! Forget it. That man never slows down. But I suppose I can appreciate why some are drawn to his exuberance.
That was nice. I don't... How far along? I mean, I know we haven't seen the Catherine one, so let's just watch that one. What about the Shamir?
You know, Catherine, you really
Haven't seen the
saved my
Shamir one
heart.
either, okay.
If not for you, I would have bought that phony coin. So I just wanted to say, money thanks. Really, I can't begin to express my gratitude.
There's no need to thank me, Alois. It was nothing. But I am a little worried about you. You just immediately believed what he was saying. You're way too trusting. I wish you'd be a little more skeptical about people, that's all.
Yes, you make a good point. I'll try to be more cautious from now on.
Excuse me, sir. I'm terribly sorry to interrupt.
Good day, ma'am. Do you need something?
I'm afraid so. You see, I'm a humble traveler, and a pickpocket stole all my money. I don't have enough to get home, and I have nowhere to sleep tonight. Please, sir, spare a little money to help me.
Oh, I'm so sorry about your troubles. I don't have much on me, but here.
Alois, no, not so fast! You there, traveler. Tell me your name. I'd like to take an official statement from you so that we can investigate this theft. Once we ascertain exactly what happened, then we will lend you some money. How does that sound? And she's gone.
And she's gone.
What? You don't mean she was trying
Poor
to...
Alois.
Yes, she was. That's a common trick for cheats to pull. They pluck at your heartstrings so that you'll give them your money. You just said you'd be more careful, too. You really are an easy mark, Alois.
Ugh, how embarrassing.
Yeah.
Why are you so quick to trust people?
I've always believed that to earn others' trust, you have to be trusting.
You're taking that philosophy a bit too far.
I agree with Catherine on that statement.
Alois.
Ah! A ghost!
A ghost!
I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me, please forgive me!
Calm down. It's just me.
That voice, it's... Shamir? Ah, it's Shamir. Whew, you frightened me. My heart was beating so hard I thought it would burst out my nose.
Your heart's in your chest, not your head.
Can you try not to be so stealthy when you're approaching a fellow knight?
Your reaction was excessive. Are you afraid of ghosts?
I suppose there's no point in hiding it. I'm terrified of them.
Terrified?
This is
Of
definitely
ghosts?
This is a different one compared to how it was in their first one.
I didn't mean to pry. There's no need to.
No, I want to get it off my chest. That time when we were on our way back from a mission. Do you remember
Oh,
what I
okay.
asked you?
Now they're bringing that
You
up.
asked if I ever think about the people I've killed.
Yes. You said you never do, but me, I can't go a day without thinking about them. The feel of my weapon cutting through them, their twisted faces, their cries of pain, and that awful scent of blood. I was carrying out my duties, but that doesn't make it easier for me to forget. And the dead haven't forgotten me either. Their hatred, their resentment, their curses. One day, the spirits will set upon me for revenge. Ooh!
Ow.
I apologize for striking you, but it had to be done. Have you calmed down?
Yes, thanks. I needed that.
I'm surprised someone like you managed to become a knight. Or perhaps that's why you became one.
Well, that's nice.
That battle was a decent challenge, but when push came to shove, they didn't have a chance. Before long, all of the church's enemies will have been destroyed.
You must really love worshipping the church. Or is it just Rhea?
Lady Rhea. You're the only one in the Knights who doesn't address her with the proper respect. It's not just that I worship Lady Rhea. I respect her, admire her, revere her.
I don't get
Maybe
the
a little
Cerberus
too much.
religion. Or Rhea.
Shamir, if you were anyone else, I would cut you down for saying that. She saved your life.
She did, and that's why I fight for her. Doesn't mean I worship her.
You never change. You're so stubborn.
No, she just has
You're
her
the
will of her
stubborn
own.
When we're on missions related to Rhea, it's like you're wearing blinders. Wanting to help her is admirable, but you'll be of no use if you get yourself killed.
I don't plan on getting killed. And it's not that I'm wearing blinders. I'm just focused. I've devoted my heart to Lady Rhea. She's the reason I wield my sword.
As long as you don't get killed or cause me any trouble, I don't really care.
So my death would cause you trouble?
That's not what I meant.
Let's give it a rest. There's no point in arguing.
Fine, but I want you to know something. It's not easy to put your life in the hands of someone who doesn't share your beliefs.
I understand. I think we can both agree on that.
Interesting. Definitely want to get their support all the way to max too. Well, let's see if I'm focused more so on them. Alright, here we go.
Listen carefully, Cyril. This is important. Are you interested in becoming a better archer?
Yeah. I always want to get better.
Good. Then you need to find another teacher.
What? Why would I need another teacher?
Because I said so.
Have I done something wrong, Shamir?
Not at all.
Why do I need a new teacher then?
I simply have nothing left to teach you.
Nah, that can't be true.
It is. Your fighting style is fundamentally different from mine. I'm a sniper. I find a secluded spot on the battlefield and pick my enemies off one by one. But you're a harrier. You weave in and out of the battlefield, assailing the enemy with rapid fire.
A sniper and a harrier?
Correct. And your progress has revealed where your strengths lie. I've taught you as much as I can. You'll have to find a teacher who specializes in your tactics if you wish to grow.
No, you're my teacher. That's how I want things. I don't know about specializations or whatever, but I know I don't want a different teacher.
Then you'll never improve.
I'm fine with you, and I don't want anyone else. I only want you, forever and ever.
Oh. Shamir's like, the fuck?
Okay, Cyril, let's forget this conversation ever happened. And thank you. Now, stop standing around. We've work to do.
Yeah. Okay.
He's blushing because he's just practically just said, I fucking love you. Whew. Well, that took a lot of time, but we're all squared away. We're all good. Everything's great. Yeah, so that took like 2 hours of just supports alone. God damn. And I didn't miss any, right? All those are just for me. Which unfortunately, I can't do anything. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this part, or these parts, because I'm definitely splitting this into two. I don't want, this is almost 2 hours long, so thank you all so much for watching these videos, guys. If you like the videos, please give the like button a click. Comment down below, check about the video, didn't like about the video, and let me know what you guys think of, what you guys think of the ghost story that Mercedes taught, what Mercedes told us, and tell me this, and how do you guys feel about the realization that Sedith and Flane are actually the Saint Clean and Saint Cyril, or whatever the Saint Clothia, or whatever the names of the two are. It's a very interesting theme for sure. So yeah, can't believe well, I don't want to say I guessed that right, because Flame practically just told us when she was talking to Ignatz. So yeah, and as always, guys, hit the subscribe button so don't miss a beat. Subscribe to the main channel too, that's in the description below. As well as follow me on Twitter. Both my main Twitter, the RBG Kingdom Kid Twitter, are in there too. Thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll see you all next time.